Welcome to Crash Shop, Brad here. I have come to the realization that I need to get my priorities straight. All I have been focusing on recently is shop improvement projects, finding ways to make this place a little bit more efficient. And as important as that is, I do need to kind of back away from that a little bit and actually work on paying projects and stuff like that. So I've got a couple more improvements that I really want to make. So I'm gonna focus on those two and hopefully be back to like project videos and stuff like that really soon. So the two projects I have yet to complete are the miter station. I'm saving that one for last because I know that that one's going to be a little bit more difficult. And the second project that I want to do is building a good metalworking station. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to attempt doing that today. I'm gonna try to spend $0 doing this. So I'm gonna be repurposing what I'm using as a miter station right now because pretty soon that's gonna be redone anyway. So rather than throw out all the wood, I'm gonna try to cut it up and make a good metalworking station.
Alright, so I'll be using this workbench to create the metalworking station. It's a monster right now, so I'll be cutting it in half. Once I've got my measurements, I clamp down a straight board to serve as a fence for the circular saw. I then do the same thing to the bottom. Now my blade only cuts so deep, so I'm making some cuts from the side to finish it off. And now I've got a good sized piece to work with. I've never actually resized or cut down a workbench, but this whole project was actually pretty easy. I'm just disassembling one side so that I can remove the leg structure. Alright, making some cuts where the legs will be recessed. And now it's a matter of getting it all lined up and screwed together. Alright, now that I've got a good size, I'm ready to prepare it for grinding and welding. Now most welding tables have nice steel surfaces that are flame-proof and designed for conductivity with welding clamps and all that good stuff. I'll just be using some cement board that I have laying around. It's not exactly top of the line, but it'll be safer than welding over a wood surface. I'm just cutting this to size with the razor. Now the edges of the cement board are a bit rough, so I'm just making a quick frame out of some scrap plywood. And I'm just using an air nailer to secure it. I've still got some cement board left over. I could have used more on the tabletop, but I wanted to make sure I had some to protect the wall. Now I'm just throwing on a quick backsplash. Alright, now I'm just throwing on a vise. I want to mount it with bolts, but because of where the legs are, I can't mount it right at the corner. I'm lifting it up a bit so that I can still spin the handle easily. Alright, my floors are super uneven and it's a huge pain to level stuff, but nonetheless I managed to get it straight, and I also screwed it into a couple studs in the wall. Now to start filling up the station. The main purpose of this table will be for welding and angle grinding projects. You can see I've got the fire extinguisher there for when the curtains eventually catch on fire. Sorry Mom if you're watching this, thank you for the curtains, I appreciate it. So I've got a bunch of these hooks, I'm just bending them out a bit so that I can store grinder discs on them. A quick hook for the grinder, and I also brought over the files. And there's the new metal station. Because I utilized scraps, this didn't cost me a penny to make. Now I have all my metalworking and blacksmithing into its own section of the shop. I ended up bringing over the bench grinder, and I also made a new anvil stand with Josh last week. We utilized some scrap 4x4s from the side of the road, and the vertical grain absorbs the shock surprisingly well. I also made this epoxy station for knife handling. I found some scrap wood and I rebuilt the other half of that workbench. I'm really happy with the shop changes this week. Not only has it made the shop more efficient, but separating the metalworking from the woodworking is much safer.
Thank you guys so much for watching. That was a pretty cool project. I'm so happy to finally be able to separate my metalworking with my woodworking. It's just gonna make the shop a lot safer. And it seems every time I crack into a new shop improvement project, 2, 3, or 4 more projects unfold from that one, and it just kind of it really turns into a bigger process than I think it's going to be. But anyway, I'm happy that it's finally done, and I didn't spend any money doing it. I cut up my old workbench. I made a good dedicated metalworking table, and I also was able to make a little bit of an epoxying glue up table. So once again, improving shop efficiency, and I'm really excited about the change. There are a few more things that I really want to do to improve this place. One being the miter saw station. That's a huge one. I really want to make a solid station for that. I also want to improve my tool wall, the hand tool wall. I want to get rid of the pegboard because I hate it. I've seen a lot of people use French cleats for their hand tool setup and do like a tool wall like that. But I've noticed that almost everyone that does that, they kind of steer away from that within like a year. So I don't know if it's just not that great of a system, but it looks cool, so a lot of people try it. But I don't know. I just did the French cleat for my for the power tools. So if you guys didn't see that video, I'll have it linked at the end. And one other project I really want to do is I want to create a good woodworking bench, a solid woodworking bench with built-in vices. That's going to be a little bit more of a tricky build, so I'm going to go ahead and not work on that right now. Probably do the miter saw station next. And lastly, I really want to work on dust collection. Dust collection in here just sucks, and I've got a little bit over there on the other side of the shop. But it's not like a real system, it's more just like a hose going into a shop vac, and I turn it on every time I use a sander, so it's not like a real dust collection system. I really want to improve on that. I want to work on that over here with the miter saw and with the table saw, but I'll probably hold off on doing that until I have the miter saw station built. That way I can properly get it all set up exactly where I'm going to need it, rather than connect it, pull it out, and stick it in again. So hopefully the miter saw station will be next so that I can get dust collection wrapped up. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this video inspires you to separate your metalworking from your woodworking, make the shop a little bit safer. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave some comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.